I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today. We are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes, but if you would like to get on the list for today, the list, as always, is open. As always, it is 3 cards for a donation of $29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of $23 or more for my subscribers, links in my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I do not read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. Happy to give insight on anything in private readings, and you can book private readings on my site. We are also doing 2 giveaways today. Our first reading giveaway will be a giveaway when we get to 50K likes. So make sure you are tapping that screen and we will get to 50K in no time. The other giveaway we are doing right now is a reading giveaway for the highest gifter between now and the conclusion of the daily collective read. So I wish you a lot of luck if you're participating in that giveaway as well. Prior to beginning today's daily collective read, I will be giving a brief recap on what we've been seeing in the cards over the last few days. If you would like to catch that full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my stack. But before we get started, most important question, first and foremost, how are you doing today? There are no wrong answers. I've got some good news. 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 If this energy has been whacking you out, if it's been having you in the tumble dry section of the dryer, if it has been putting you through the ringer, things should potentially ease up a little bit after today, because today we are experiencing not only a new moon in Virgo, but we are also experiencing the eclipse. We're experiencing the solar eclipse today as well. This is going to be drawing the eclipse season to a close, and it has been a real interesting eclipse cycle. The reason the eclipse cycle has been so interesting, and I'm sure you've probably been feeling a lot of the intensity of it, has to do with the fact that during eclipses are effectively amplifiers. They just amplify the energy that we're experiencing. And we went into this eclipse with a ridiculous amount of planets in retrograde. Things that are not planets are in retrograde right now, and they're all in retrograde in Aries. This can do a number on our feeling of patience. This can make us feel very temperamental. This can create a lot of projection on around others, onto or towards the self from others. And again, if that wasn't enough, we're also experiencing the fact that we're going through this during Virgo season. Now, the thing about the energy in Virgo energy is lovely, but this energy is not ideal for those with Virgo placements, because you have to understand that Virgos are often here to help heal their relationship to perfection, right? It is understanding that perfection is a gift. I just wrote about all of this over on my Mystic Meditations article that I released over on my stack, dealing with how to navigate this energy right now. It is precise. It is about seeing perfection. And when we heal our relationship to perfection, right? Often those with Virgo placements, they come here like this, like they're looking for perfection on a map and they don't see it anywhere. And that's a very unhappy experience to be in. But when we feel more from the space of perfection, not being something that we demand in terms of finding it, but something that we work to energetically create, we allow the adaptability in. Welcome to the shift that we experienced of Mercury being in Virgo and then going into Libra. Then we start to see the possibility of perfection that exists in everything. So, there's a lot of work that we saw that was potentially happening in the experience of this eclipse cycle. I'd also say that for some of the relationships, that it's not the fact that there aren't relationships that are healing right now in this energy. But I'll tell you right now, the context by which some of those relationships are healing, some of it has to do with something that happened during another eclipse cycle. Because one of the things I'm seeing in relationality to healing right now is having to do with the ability to articulate upon an experience or circumstance where one has brought an overabundance of emotion to something that was very minor or not important. And so that ability of taking accountability for those things does allow for the space by which something can be done in a greater fashion. But there's a lot of there's a lot of delicacy that we may be seeing that's occurring in that. Now, for a majority of the energy right now, we're going to start talking from the energy and separation because we have been noticing that there's been a shift that's happening right now for energy and separation. And this has been the shift out of temperance energy, and it's giving all indications. It's funny too, because even in the fact that I'm saying it's giving indications of being moon energy, it feels like it validates the fact that these are moon partnerships, because moon energy can sometimes be hard to put one's finger on. It's ephemeral energy. It's like, where is it? Where is it? So, because even now, and that would be effectively the work that we see that has been happening or starting ever since Uranus went retrograde right before this eclipse cycle began with that full moon that we had just a couple of weeks ago. Now, I'm also going to tell you right now that this new moon is going to feel like a full moon, potentially, and especially because of the fact that we're going through the solar eclipse as we are experiencing it. But for a lot of the energy and separation, I see two different modalities that may be occurring right now in separation. These are either circumstances or situations with energy in separation, doing the work to heal on the self, potentially even recognizing and seeing how far one has come. I would not be surprised if there's some energy right now in separation feeling really, really frustrated because potentially something that they had been hoping or anticipating occurring, past version of self wanting something to occur, boom, retrograde bringing it towards the self, being able to see something in a different way, right? The information of the present self that allows the context to be able to understand what one is able to heal with versus what feels like it is energetically forcing things or forcing you out of energetic alignment. Because we had a lot of the conversations that we saw leading up until this energy in relationality and in regard, potentially even towards the fact of what time can and cannot heal. Time can heal circumstances or situations like the ones that we dictated. The ability to articulate an overabundance of emotionality you bring to something that isn't that great, like that isn't that big a deal, right? This is the accountability that allows the possibility of being able to move forward upon something. But when we're in the space, but we feel energetically triggered where a standard is, we sometimes feel awful in the moment that we feel energetically triggered. We get hard on ourselves, right? And sometimes we actually carry the wrong wounds out of situations. And this is how time heals in those vibrations, because that ability of moving away from something and getting perspective, remembering who one is, and then seeing a situation or circumstance where another was not arriving to the standards that you yourself set, and then feeling the space of being triggered by that, there may be a lot of energy that is coming to that space of restoration. And this is why if there's like something coming back right now during this retrograde cycle, a relationship where another person looks towards someone and says, "Are you finished yet?" The energy may be saying, I'm not finished. I prepared a lecture. Would you like to see my notes on the subject?" It's the understanding, right? It's the understanding of the self that comes towards doing the hard work of understanding. Manifestation isn't about forcing qualities and characteristics in someone that aren't there, but it's the expression by which we move towards something in accordance with what it is that we energetically desire. Now, this brings us to a lot of the energy that is moving deeper into. And so for a lot of those energies right now in separation, we see that this is the energy that is may potentially being delicate with the self, being able to understand and recognize their healing journey, and even potentially recognizing the sensitivity that this potential energy brings, particularly and especially in relationality to sentimentality towards the past, which you often get with Neptune and Saturn both being in retrograde. While for energy that's moving deeper into divine union, you'll recall that these are those temperance partnerships that were coming together from about the time that Uranus stationed retrograde up until the time of the solstice period earlier this summer. There's a lot of energy right now, and I'm not surprised that that energy started moving deeper into divine union right around the time that Uranus went retrograde, because it is a recognition, right? I keep on seeing that this is the energy that is healing from other self deception, because for a lot of the energy that is healing from other self-deception, and we see even now with the energy in separation, there's both the energy that's moving deeper into divine union and the energy in separation, these new relationships that are coming together in this energy. It's the understanding that when we're not working to understand the self, then often we deceive not only ourselves in relationality to what we want, but we deceive, and I keep on saying that that's the energy that feels the wound of being hurt by another person's self-deception, because that often can feel like the moment or modality that you move towards a manifestation goal. And in the space by which you start to move towards it, another person is moving in the opposite direction or starts to be energetically resistant. So for a lot of that energy, that's why we see that those moon relationships are coming together with a bit of trepidation, a little bit of energetic delicacy. While for the energy that's moving deeper into divine union right now, this could be articulating upon why they're going through an expansion point or heart opening at this time. That ability to articulate upon something, that ability to expound upon. This is potentially the energy that's almost apologizing for the fact that they hadn't opened up before this way, but they didn't expect or account for the fact that they were encountering extraordinary energy, right? And that's what's beautiful. And this is why it's so important that we don't bring the negativity of the past to present experiences, right? Because a lot of that work that we effectively see, that ability to be able to understand and recognize, and having that hope that that energy can surprise us. I keep on seeing that this is the energy that's moving deeper into divine union, and they're feeling the delight and surprise of a connection that has a lot of resolution and relationality to what it is that they aspire and desire for, and what it is that it effectively energetically takes to get there. So for a lot of that energy, doing that work, working towards that in like intensity, it's like I keep on seeing it's like the energy that's finally ready to share that history of how they were hurt before. This brings us to the energy that's deep within divine union right now. And for the purposes of our reading, we always read on the most recent energetic cycle that moved deep within divine union. And that was those magician partnerships that were coming together from about the time of the solstice period up until the time of Mercury and Venus stationing direct behind Neptune. For a lot of these relationships, finding authenticity, a relationship where one feels that one can be the authentic self. I keep on seeing it's recentering relationship in a way that they have never recentered before. I just keep on seeing for a lot of those relationships, being able to do something, and not only being able to do it, but being able to recognize and identify. And I keep on hearing this is the energy, like that's why they're moving deeper into divine union, because I keep on seeing that there's a feeling of being accepted, right? That energetic acceptance point that is effectively changing everything. And a lot of that energy that we see in relationality to acceptance right now, the difficult for a lot of those relationships is potentially dealing with maturation processes as it relates to energy outside of partnership. Because something that we often see that happens when we start to healthy center a relationship is this is why when we healthy center a relationship, there's energy that falls out of our energetic orbit. Because when we're going through a maturation process and we understand that we're centering partnership, we recognize and identify that that is something that is energetically natural that occurs. But when we're not ready to be in the maturation process of that, we potentially see that and we feel like someone is moving in the wrong direction. So this is why these are the relationships that are coming together this way. They're centering the partnership. They're healing the relationship to Saturn because they may be seeing something outside of partnership that they understand and recognize what is happening, but they can't necessarily inform upon it because you can't force wisdom into things without creating trauma. So this is why we see that this could be a lot of the energy that's moving deeper into divine union, going through some bittersweet growing pains, because it's the observation of what feels like it's energetically supportive to partnership that fortifies the relationship. And if anything is falling away from them at this time, they are hoping that Saturn can help to heal that in the time to come. That is where we find all of the energy prior to beginning today's daily collective read. But if you'd like to find that full reading, you can find it over on the place where we keep the videos. You can also find it over on the place where we keep the photos. You can also find it as a podcast over on my spot at Tarot Church and over on my stack. That said, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few moments, but let me know in the comments how this energy is impacting you. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Stella, thank you for getting on the list today. You'll be the second person read for. If anybody else wants to get on the list right now, you'll be the third person read for. How are you doing today, Dizzy and Namita? Welcome, Kitty. How are you doing there, Spirit Guide? Julia, thank you so much for liking the live. Always appreciate when you guys like the live. Grand Rising, Hannah, as well. Please remember, all super fans will receive one card readings, free one card readings. So make sure that if you are interested in a one card reading, make sure that you're becoming a super fan. Per Grand Rising, hope you're having a beautiful start to your day. You have no Virgo in your chart. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder how this energy is impacting you, Hannah. No Earth placements in your chart. You have to have some Earth placements. I refuse to believe that for her. You have to have I mean, like, there's 3 different signs. You have to have I mean, like, for me, like, I've got 0 Taurus placements, but I do have Earth placements. Yes, Cassie, if you'd like to get on the list is open. I can put you on the list. You just need to send the donation. Grand Rising Ava. Excellent. I've got, yes, thank you, Stella. I've got that gift. All right, wonderful. And Crystal, thank you for getting on the list right now. All right. If anybody else wants to get on the list right now, you'll be the 4th person placement. You have no air placements. I can't believe, wait, when you say you have no air plate, I mean, do you mean like in your big 3 or do you mean across your whole chart? Because I find it, I mean, like, I'm always like there's a lot of different houses in our charts, like absolutely no air placements or absolutely no earth placements. I mean, that means that there are 3 different signs, that are completely not appearing. I mean, it happens. I mean, that's the thing. If it happens, I want to see it. Like, go listen. If it's happening, get on our disco, post your chart. I want to see it. I need to know. I have no Leo. Okay, I can believe you. I can believe you saying you have no Leo, Miss Daisy. I got no Taurus. Like there's there's no bull in my chart. There's no bull in my chart. I don't know what happened. Rosalind, thank you for the follow. And Jeanette, thank you for the follow as well. Oh, if you're tired of this energy, I've got some good news for you, little vamp. Grand Rising, Ava, Lindsay, your subscription's ending soon. And thank you, Cassie, for charging your heart me's. Guys, please remember to recharge your heart me's. If you want those if you want that 1 card reading, if you want the animal spirit guide card on top of your 1 card reading for super fans. Yep, Cassie, if you want to get on the list is open. All right. And Grand Rising Per, good to see you today. Grand Rising Hannah. RJ, thank you for joining us. Kanye, thank you for joining us. How are you doing today, guys? And Stella, thank you for the baby dragon. Appreciate you. Grand Rising Celestial. And thank you as well. Boop, boop, boop. Hold on, I lost my spot. My Chiron is also in Taurus. Ooh. That's like Chiron in Taurus is like, that is like you seeing something. That's like seeing something. That's like healing from the ability of seeing something and not saying something. Right? Chiron in Taurus is like healing from the wound of seeing something and not saying something. None in the whole chart. That's wild. Caress, become a super fan. Get on our disco. Post your chart. I'm sure Rainbow would want to see that too. Yeah, Chiron and Taurus. Yep. I got you, Crystal. Only what earth placement you have. That's wild. Like Chiron and Taurus is just clocking something. Like over and over and over again. I mean, like, Nope, hurts every time. Yeah, there could also be smaller plate. That's what I meant, like Vesta. Yeah, you got it. Yep, if you guys want to check it. Guys, anyone who's a super fan, like we've got an astrology section. You can post it there if that's still the case. Yep, I've got you, Crystal. Grand Rising, Denise. So good to see you today. I know. I like that you just wrote, I know, a little bit. I have a Capricorn stellium. A Capricorn stellium's awesome. You know, a Capricorn stellium is like, it's like I said what I said. It's like I said what I said. It's like holding to it. I said what I said. I said what I said. I'll say it again. I'll say it 3 times louder. You know, it's productive. Yep, exactly. Straight up. Like, no, I don't want to chase her. No, I take my coffee black. Get the charts in there. Yeah, let's all take a look-see. All right, friends, we are going to get started on today's Daily Collective. A couple of updates before we do. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who participated in our Black Like My Soul. Thank you to everybody who was part of our STAR class this week. Such a wonderful class. We had a couple technical difficulties. I'm not surprised given the energy we're in right now. But we did get it. We did get it up. We did get it started. And for those of you who couldn't attend the class, it is now available as a video for my class program subscribers. If you would like to watch that class or any of the other classes that we've done, all you need to do is join the class program that is over on the Stack. Your subscription to my Stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I do my best in terms of trying to give you an update on everything we've studied thus far. But if you wanted to catch up, now would be a great time to join, because our next class is going to be on Wednesday, October 15th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we will be focusing our studies on the moon card. I am so excited for this class. It is one of my favorite cards. It is a fascinating card. It's often misunderstood. We're going to go over the symbolism of the card, the history of the card. I'm going to walk through spread applications, how we can read that card in any position it may appear in your own readings. And all you need to do if you'd like to become a part of that class program is mosey on over to my Stack and become a paid subscriber. Now, as I mentioned, if you are a monthly subscriber, you'll have access to 9 hours worth of material. If you become a founding member, you will have access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library class archive. That is access to over 18 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. You will also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage, moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't allow your lack of experience or your robust experience to prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also be notified as to any giveaway information that we may be doing. And you'll also have access to my Mystic Meditation articles. I just released one yesterday on navigating this new moon energy that we'll be experiencing later this afternoon. You can head over to my Stack if you'd like to read that, get some meditation, get some tips in terms of manifestation goals, get some tips in terms of a new moon mantra. All of it you can find there over on the Stack. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer a mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class, or as a monthly package, which is weekly or biweekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my students that are seeking more consistent tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or biweekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings, which can be purchased per dream or as a series. If you purchase the series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or biweekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. That said, we are going to get started on today's daily collective read in the next few minutes. I'm actually going to be closing the list for today, but if you would like to get on the list for tomorrow, you will be the first person read for. You will also have an additional card in your reading. Also, please remember, super fans get free 1-card readings. So if you'd like to become a super fan, I encourage you to do so. And you will also have that free card. That said, I am going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. All right. Yes, please get those charts in there. That would be great. Black like my soul. I know the star is one of my favorite cards too. It was a really beautiful class. Dude, there were 70, I had like 70 plus slides that we went through in that class. It was like, every time I do a class, there's more slides. I know. I love the fact that we're doing the moon card in October. And Stella, thank you for the follow. Thank you as well, Mike, for the follow. My first collective in weeks. I am taking you with me. Oh, welcome. I'm in the grocery store. Yes, tell us to decide between, yeah, tell us to decide between two items. I think that's awesome. All right, friends, we're going to get to it. As I mentioned, if you would like to get on the list today, the list is closed, but you'll be the first person read for tomorrow. And again, please remember, we're doing a contest, a giveaway right now, free reading for the highest gifter between now and the conclusion of the daily collective read. And before we get started, why don't we warm up those intuition muscles with an animal spirit guide intuition check. I've got the animal spirit guide card here. We're going to count back from 10. When we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The fire dragon. Woohoo! The list was open, Bridget. You are on the list because you got on before the live. If you want to get on the list for today, getting on the list before the live is the best way to assure that you're on the list. If anybody wants to get on the list for tomorrow, you will be the first person read for. Thank you guys so much. And thank you. I don't know if there is a moose in the deck. All right, my friends. That said, if you guys could do me a favor and share this live, I would appreciate it. Make sure anyone who would like to catch this reading live is here to receive it. That said, let's get this guy on. No better time than the present. Why don't we get started? Welcome, everyone. Happy Sunday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Sunday, September 21st, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first 2 cards in our 5-card spread? First 2 cards we are starting our day off with today we've got here the 7 of Cups in its upright in combination with our Page of Wands in its upright. That is some nice energy there. So let's talk a little bit about what we've been navigating or working through with this particular energetic cycle. This eclipse / retrograde has been no joke. It has been spiky. It has been, it's potentially been frustrating. You know, one of the things we have to recognize right now, I'm going to keep on saying this. I'm sure you're tired of hearing me say it, but I'm going to just repeat it for those who are new to the class. Eclipses don't have an energetic signature. They amplify the energy that's currently there. And the energy that and this is why I was calling this a cryptic eclipse cycle, because the energy that we were navigating this eclipse cycle in was already very, very anomalous. We've got a lot of energetic anomalies that are happening. We've got every planetary body in Aries has been in retrograde during this eclipse process. Right before the eclipse process started, Uranus went into retrograde. We've also got the fact that we're going through a Virgo season where for a majority of the Virgo season, we had the Mercury also in Virgo. So it's like double Virgo energy. So it's like the intensification feeling and wanting to do things precisely. But the thing is, when everything's in retrograde, nothing feels like it's going the way that it should. So I want you to imagine, like we've been going through the vibration with energy, the demanding energy of the Virgo that speaks towards wanting to see perfection and wanting to bring things into a space of perfection and not seeing it anywhere. Quite the opposite. So we've got and it feels like a lot of again, it's a lot of that that feeling of energetic pressure that fills into the expansion point. I would not be surprised if you've been experiencing a lot of that frustration and relationality to fits and starts during this retrograde cycle. It's really important. What was the solution to this to a certain extent? We got a bit of a guide point on it prior to the eclipse cycle happening when Mercury was retrograding in Leo. Mercury retrograding in Leo isn't Mercury retrogrades are not the problem. Whenever a planet's in retrograde, it's a deficit for us. But Mercury retrograding in Leo asks us, have you tried putting compassion on things? And compassion, remembering that compassion isn't about niceness. Compassion doesn't mean that you have to be energetically nice about everything. It's the space by which one is able to articulate upon something that has meaning to the self. That's why I was really, 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 really stressing. Well, I was really, really stressing not taking going through this retrograde as I always, or eclipse cycle as I always do, saying not to be reactive to things, not doing something that feels indulgent to the emotions, because because what effectively happens in those experiences, and we were talking a lot about this was coming through very heavily during this process, the difference between dispassion and compassion. Now the thing about it is, often when one is being dispassionate, they try to articulate that they're being compassionate, and often those that are compassionate are worried about being dispassionate. And what is the difference between compassion and dispassion? Com- Compassion is about having feelings and being able to articulate upon why we feel the way we do. It's being able to articulate and put our force of intention to things that allows us to fortify our emotions. And this is why we talk about the fact that not all feelings are alike. Dispassion is doing something because you feel like it, and then trying to find cause. It's like just trying to find cause. It's just trying to strap some reason on the emotional indulgence of doing something. In hindsight, being like, right? Like, and you can't do that, right? And this is often where I can tell what trauma is formed, right? Because it's often the space that you do something, like you do something in a fit of passion, and then you try to put a reason towards it that creates energetic confusion, right? Because I keep on hearing, like, you can't articulate that you were feeling a certain way in order to do something, right? It doesn't make any sense. So the feeling of the understanding, or the adaptability and understanding the difference between compassion, right? Being able to articulate, like, and you can usually tell that another person is being compassionate because they'll talk about something before doing it. They'll work it through, right? It's the observation or the articulation of speaking towards something that allows something to be done in a better way. When we're being energetically dispassionate, right? We often, like, we articulate upon something, and then we try, I keep wondering, like, we try to energetically backpedal in terms of why we did something that was emotionally indulgent to the self, by trying to articulate like a cause or reason for being able to do something like that. And this is why and the reason I keep on hearing this is because this is why, like, this is like, remember when I said that for a lot of those relationships right now, a lot of the energy and separation is letting go of a lot of trauma. It's a further affirmation that the trauma doesn't make sense. And that's the hardest thing. Sometimes we're energetically traumatized and we look back to the thing that caused us trauma to try to understand why. There's no reason in trauma. That's why there's no reason in trauma. Because typically when you're experiencing points of trauma, someone's doing something that is energetically indulgent, right? Trauma is the because I felt like it. It's because I felt like it. And then you look to someone and say, can you please put logic as to your feelings? And this is, again, when we're not in a space of being energetically healthy, our feelings don't make sense. You can have a bad feeling from eating a bad sandwich. Like, that's what we mean by crankiness. Crankiness is, we're all cranky all the time. But when we're in a space that we mind our own crankiness, we're able to recognize and identify, right? We're able to recognize and identify why we feel the way we do versus the reason by which we feel the way we do. And that sorting process, right? The sorting process between, am I feeling this way because I'm just feeling the way I'm feeling, right? Or am I feeling this way for cause, for energetic reason? This is effectively the difference between compassionate and dispassionate energy, right? Because when we're dispassionate, we feel a certain way and we make it everybody else's responsibility to deal with it. But when we're compassionate, we give, I like to say, we let others know. We let others know how we feel. We work towards it to a certain extent. We parse it out. And so everything I keep on seeing right now for energy and separation, and I think that, like, and that's what I mean. Like, I keep on hearing that there's something about the energy and separation that's like working into this. But I keep on hearing the energy and separation saying, I prepared a lecture. But the reason I keep on hearing the energy and separation saying, I prepared a lecture, right, is because the ability of understanding and recognizing like how we feel, that's often what it feels like when we're doing the work to understand and sort something out. So I feel like there's something really lovely in that, because this is the energy. I That's what I meant when, prior to starting this collective reading, I was talking before we started the podcast, I was talking about the fact that there may be something that's happening right now for moon energy, almost observing something that's coming towards them right now that the past self would be eager for, but the present self is energetically aware of, right? And so everything we keep on seeing in that modality or in those experiences, like I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, like going through that work or going through that capacity, it's not easy. It's energetically heavy, because I keep on hearing healthy energy healthy energy can have hard conversations. Healthy energy is in I keep on hearing, and that's why I keep on seeing like healthy energy is such that it's able to articulate upon something in such a way that one is able to define its meaning on it. And this is what I meant in terms of some of these relationships that are coming together right now. It's tippy toes energy, you know, they're bringing a lot of a care to a situation. They're bringing a lot of care to the relationship, because I keep on seeing, especially if these are relationships where they're experiencing wounds from another self-deception, this is how we inadvertently hurt one another. Because for a lot of those relationships, I either see two different modalities right now that are healing from trauma in separation. It's either the trauma in separation, and I keep on saying it's easy, like the trauma in separation, wherein we identify, and I got to tell you right now, like the trauma in separation, when we identify and recognize that another person articulated something that they didn't effectively desire or something of that nature, like that allows for a lot of the space by which we can let something go, right? That can allow, like that can create the space where we can recognize and identify it. But I keep on seeing that for some of the energy in separation, having to work through the fact, like having to work through the fact of seeing or recognizing or identifying. Um, I feel like the best way to just describe it is um, like it's giving me like pattern recognition, right? I almost feel like there's some energy right now that is like working through the space by which they're trying not to go back to the things that they used to do, but simultaneously they're healing from situations where a person articulates that they have a manifestation goal, but then they're not living in energetic accordance to it. And that's what we mean about not being in a space of self-deception, because these are the wounds that often feel like the worst. Because again, it's like the same thing we talk about here. Like you can't articulate that you want a good relationship, but then say that you're averse to doing any of the work that's required to maintain one. You can't say that you can't say that you want another person's attention, and then when they bring you attention, say that they're being energetically needy, right? It's the understanding and the definition of not just articulating that one desires something, but understanding what it feels like to inhabit it, that often articulates the difference between whether we're able to find it and energetically receive it. So that's what I keep on seeing right now as it relates to these new partnerships that are coming together. They're espousing a lot of delicacy, but that delicacy is effectively the articulation of what it is that they're trying to do in a greater way. And the one thing we like to see here in relationality to that is the fact that I keep on seeing like this is almost the energy, like this is the energy that is allowing their authenticity to guide conversations, to see what the direction is going into. And I keep on hearing like these are not just relationships coming together and seeing how it's going to go. This is the energy that is trying to like define comprehension prior to the space of coming, like of meeting, or prior to the space of engaging further. Because I keep on hearing in separation right now, comprehension, comprehension, comprehension. It's easy to say something, but it's an entirely different thing to know something. Center card for today's spread. Woo! We got that Six of Wands energy. We got that Six of Wands energy there. We like to see that. This Six of Wands energy, the thing about it that I'm seeing, and I feel like it's energetically important, um, it has to do, I keep on saying it has to do with, for this is the energy, these are the temperance relationships that are moving deeper into partnership. Um, like I keep on hearing they're saying to one another, I want to tell you the story about who I was before I thought I'd find you. Is all I keep on hearing. I want to tell you the story of who I was before I thought I'd find you, which is the observation. Like I keep on seeing that this is some energy that is sharing with one another what that despair felt like, right? Potentially having, I feel like this is almost energy. Like I remember I said that there was something about these temperance relationships that almost felt like they had given up hope on things, right? And this is why, and this is why I keep on hearing with these temperance partnerships that feeling of like that feeling of celebration, right? That feeling of expectation, that feeling of anticipation. Like I keep on seeing that for a lot of these relationships, they're feeling like, I want to show you these three cards together. And for those who are on the podcast, you can find them over on the stack, right? Like this is almost the energy says, I'm finally ready to tell you everything that I've gone through, because this is the energy that was almost articulating and going through those processes. And it's, I keep on hearing the doubts or the fears that they carried, right? They weren't based upon the counterpart, but they were like, I keep on hearing they're letting go of old fear, because I keep on hearing the old fear was building into someone who was not as clear in relationality to having the resolve as it relates to what it is they were trying to create in relationship. So there's something really beautiful that's occurring for those temperance partnerships right now. And I keep on seeing that this is a lot of the energy that is opening up in deeper ways as it relates to their own personal history. Fourth and fifth cards in our 5-card spread. Woo, a lot of six energy today in the spreads. We've got the Six of Swords and it's upright in combination with the Four of Pentacles. So let's talk a little bit like for, and this is what I meant, the magician partnerships right now. Um, they're going through it. And I don't want to say that they're going through it in a negative way. I keep on hearing they're going through it because they get it, is all I keep on hearing. Why are they going through it? Because they get it. Because I keep on seeing what's so hard for some of those magician partnerships is their understanding that centering partnership changes our energetic orbit. It's like the observation or recognition that as we energetically mature and we prioritize in the way that we feel we should in partnership, energy that's not in alignment sometimes sees that and feels like we're moving in the wrong direction. So that's why I keep on seeing there's something that's happening right now for energy deep within divine union, seeing something outside of partnership. Like I keep on hearing, it's like, it's frustrating. They wish they could do something about it, but they also know they can't. This is why they're healing their relationship to Saturn, because often when we see path work like that, it heals our relationship to Saturn, because you look at Saturn and go, can you take care of that? It's a situation that can sometimes resolve with time. Continuing, and that's the thing, they're trying not to get too hard about it. Continuing to get clarification between our Six of Cups and Seven of Cups, correction, and our Page of Wands and it's upright. Woo, King of Wands. King of Wands and it's upright here. King of Wands and it's upright. Let's talk about like this is beautiful here. I want to just show you because the combination, the important thing that we're seeing here with the combination of the Page of Wands and the King of Wands has a lot to do. The combination of the Page of Wands and the King of Wands has to do in the space of recognizing and identifying what it feels to energetically communicate. And so this is what we keep on seeing. For I see two different modalities for the energy and separation right now, which is either there's either some energy right now in separation that's healing by being able to see what is happening, is what I keep on seeing. which is like, and I keep on getting, it's like, it's working. I keep wondering, it's working through the same old thing, right? And this is what we talk about as it relates to progress, right? Because when we're energetically trying to progress or process, we understand that there are things that we are working through that are always energetic challenges for the self, right? There are always those modalities by which there's something that we're trying to do in a greater fashion. But the thing I keep on seeing for some of these relationships, it's a conversation on standards. And what's hard when we're holding our standards is when we're holding our energetic standards. And this is the difference. This is the difference between a grudge and a standard, right? A grudge is when you hold something and you don't know why you hold it. You're letting the emotions hold the thing, right? But when you have a standard, you're able to articulate upon it. You're able to give reason or give meaning to something that helps one see and do something in a better fashion. And so, for a lot of the energy right now, I keep on seeing that is working through or working on something in a better way. Um, I keep on identifying that for a lot of the energy doing that work, it's like I keep on hearing a healthy relationship can navigate a hard conversation, which is the space by which one articulates upon something and one is able to see, like the one is able to work through it. And so this is why I keep on seeing, if there's energy right now wherein another person just kind of comes back towards someone without addressing something, I almost see the energy saying that it's the space by which we try to, like, I keep wondering, it's the space by which we try to smooth something over instead of working something out that often creates that energetic endpoint, right? Because it's the space, I keep wondering, it's the space by which we identify and recognize that it's almost like I keep on seeing, it's like the difference between someone taking our temperature versus willing to have an energetic conversation with us. And so everything I keep on seeing in those experiences or those modalities is almost saying to me that this is either the energy that is healing from something in a profound way, as it relates to the observation of someone who's coming back towards them, not so much to have a conversation, but to take temperature, versus the energetic relationships wherein we see that these are the energies, and this is what's wild for some of the new energy relationships that are coming together right now, they are taking each other's temperature, right? I keep on hearing they're moving carefully around one another to be able to ascertain and understand the self, to see, like I keep on hearing, the difference between what we articulate versus what we energetically know. Continuing to get clarification between the Page of Wands and our Six of Wands, and it's upright. Woo, we've got that lovers card. We like a lovers card. That's nice. This is a beautiful, this is an absolutely beautiful spread today. And there's heavy, I gotta say, there's heavy energy on the number 6, which speaks to us of harmony. And so when we see, especially when we see the lovers card and the Six of Wands here, one of the things that we're identifying has to do, and I feel like there's something really important right now that is happening for those temperance partnerships that are moving deeper into partnership. Because for a lot of those temperance relationships, we're effectively recognizing or identifying here. This is, I keep on saying, this is the work that they're articulate. This is them articulating and defining the meaning of what it is that they feel for one another. Because I keep on hearing, like, I keep on seeing that like, this is what's interesting about it. Um, this is almost the energy that is coming towards one another in a deeper way by sharing more hurt. And why do we see that the energy is effectively sharing more hurt together? Because, and I don't want to say this in a negative way, but it's the observation. You remember when I said that for some of these relationships, these temperance partnerships were being forged like in like the most difficult energy possible, because going through all of that retrograde energy at the time of trying to come into union is like trying to move away from the past that keeps on coming back. It's like the past. It's like it keeps on, it's like there. It's like you're in the middle of it. You can't put it behind it. It's like it feels like it's all over the place. But this is why I keep on seeing that these are the relationships that are so they're so strong together, because I keep on hearing that for those relationships, it's it's working through something. I keep on getting it's working through something in such a way that one finds the ability. I keep on seeing like the energy is finally, it's almost like the energy is finally ready to admit to each other that prior to meeting one another, they'd given up hope of finding each other. That's the best way I can describe it. It's a very, it's a very, and I keep on seeing like, it's funny too because it's like they're saying like it's like I keep on hearing it's like they're talking about like how difficult that was, right? Like because I keep on seeing like that was the energy that almost like articulates to each other that they felt like they were running on fumes prior to coming into partnership. You know, it's like a lot of that. I feel like there's a lot of that energy that's like trying to say to one another like the how much they have meaning to each other. But that's why I also see, and this brings us to the energy deeper within divine union right now, like for these relationships, like I want you to see what's going on with these magician partnerships. And for the purposes of our reading, we'll recall that the magician partnerships were the relationships that were coming together from about the solstice period up until the time of Mercury and Venus stationing direct behind Neptune. We've got here the Six of Wands with the Six of Swords. And the Six of Wands with the Six of Swords effectively speaks to us about like this is what's so painful for some of those partnerships right now, which is it's like I almost see, I keep on hearing centering relationship shouldn't be a big deal. It should be an energetic celebration is all I keep on seeing. And so I keep on seeing the same thing. Like this is the energy that's saying like if you can't handle the celebration, right? It's like it's the observation like, and this is what happens sometimes, and sometimes we're surprised by this, like when we're moving into some kind of space that feels like it should be positive and supportive, it sometimes clarifies our own perception around relationship. It clarifies the it gives us the observation or the context by which we can feel the difference between what feels energetically supportive for like to us, like something that feels like it is energetically celebratory versus another person that like almost like is trying to articulate their own energetic displeasure in seeing us move towards that centering process. And this is why we often see those as maturation processes, because what's wild for some of those magician partnerships is they remember that feeling, right? They remember that feeling. And that's why I almost see that it's almost like them feeling more fortified, potentially even moving away from something, not articulating upon it, because I keep on seeing that when we articulate on Saturn's lessons, we sometimes make it impossible for Saturn to be able to energetically fix something, is what I keep on seeing. Right. And that's what we mean. I keep on hearing wisdom does not intervene at times because it's the observation that when another person is not able to understand or recognize something that they like, it's hard to articulate it to them. Right. And so I keep on seeing it, and I almost feel like it's the energy like saying to one another that they don't want to get into a silly argument, which is a silly argument, which is potentially recognizing that someone's doing something from an egoic space, is what I keep on seeing. Because it's I keep on hearing it's hard. It's like I keep on hearing it's like trying to talk about a sore subject. So clarification between our Six of Wands and the Six of Swords there. Yeah, you see, there's that confirmation with the Page of Swords, right? Like, I keep on seeing it's like, it's almost like, I almost feel like for some of those relationships, it has to do with like others, it's like I literally see some energy like in partnership, looking around outside of partnership and articulating upon others going through something is the best way I can see it, you know? And like even the energy like working through something in such a way that, and I feel like it's sad, like that's what I mean, in relationality to feeling like there's some of that drift that's happening for those partnerships. Because I can see this energy, like, and that's what they're saying to one another. Like the celebration of union, like the fact that there's an energetic union that is created shouldn't be the cause of rumination, because often I keep on seeing celebration should not cause rumination, because it often creates the observation of someone that doesn't share the same manifestation goals as we do. Continuing between our Six of Swords in combination with our Four of Pentacles. Woo, there's that Ace of Pentacles in its reversal. And again, the thing with the Ace of Pentacles, I gotta stress this, Ace of Pentacles, the Pentacle energy in its reversal isn't necessarily a bad thing. I am someone who deeply believes that an ace is an ace. Like an ace is a win is a win. But it has to do with the nature or the inner context of how we navigate something. And the thing I want to describe, like the thing I want to describe with a bit of this like retrograde eclipse energy, is it does have a bit of a surfeit energy to it. And what is a surfeit? It's when a lot of things are happening at once, right? It's like too much of a good thing. It's like, or like there's too much of anything becomes energetically problematic, right? It's the observation of what we deal, like how we navigate. I like to describe the way we navigate an energetic surfeit is how we effectively work through things. And so something that I'm seeing there, like especially as it relates to like and this is happening across all of the frequencies, like especially because that was a lot of what we're experiencing with this combination of the retrograde with the eclipse, right? It can feel like a lot of things coming at you all at once, and especially with Neptune and Saturn that are retrograding out together, it's a lot of that observation or a lot of that feeling of discombobulation that can occur when many things are happening at once. But this is why I was articulating that when we're going through situations like this, not to take things personally, right? Because when we're able to recognize and identify that everybody's kind of going through that, it allows that force of being able to have compassion. And I keep on saying compassion is not about being nice about everything. Compassion is about communicating how we're feeling. So I keep on seeing that it's interesting because, and I want to stress this, it's almost giving the vibration of working on, I keep on hearing this is some energy right now across all the frequencies that is effectively identifying and working through the observation of like I keep hearing working through the observation of what warrants a conversation, right? And when we're able to have I keep wondering, when we're able to have a productive conversation on something, it's the space by which we acknowledge that something is occurring or something is working to be adjusted or adapted. And that's what's interesting about this energy that we're effectively seeing here, because I would not be certain, that's what I meant, there may be some energy right now in separation that is hurting, because it's not the fact during this retrograde that someone came back to them, but it's the observation of someone coming back, not in order to try to work through something, but I keep wondering, trying to smooth something out like nothing even occurred at all, is what I keep on seeing, right? And that's why sometimes those moments feel so energetically distressing or so energetically debilitating, because it is the observation of another person going, are you numb yet? Like, are you numb yet? Are you numb enough? To engage in an energetic relationship? Are you numb enough? Like, are you numb enough? Are you numb enough to be here? And that's what I keep on seeing. Like, and that's often why when someone comes back to us and they say, are you numb enough yet? We go, it's as bad as I feared. And then we end the energetic conversation, right? Because it's the observation of the difference in relationality to identifying and recognizing, or doing that work, as it were, right? Like allowing the context by which we can effectively heal something. And that's what I keep on hearing. And again, it's more of the affirmation of understanding a healthy relationship does not require one to disassociate in the process of being in it. It's the space where one's, and it's not the fact that all our feelings are valid, but we do the work to parcel out what we're working on doing better within, so that we can do something better without. Right? Like, and that's what I meant about those temperance relationships and talking about the value that they hold to each other. And this is why the energy right now in separation is either healing from circumstances. I keep on hearing they're healing from the wound of someone trying to smooth something out instead of talking about it. And at the same time, we effectively see that for a lot of those partnerships or a lot of those relationships, that sense or that space of coming together, these new, I told you, these new moon partnerships that are coming together right now, they're identifying what that meaning is. They're speaking on it in ways that feels like it's robust and profound. Continuing to get clarification between our King of Wands and our Lovers card. One card to clarify, please. We've got here the 10 of Wands in its upright. And I think that there's something really, I feel like there's something really energetically significant and important that we're seeing. Like across, like the one thing that's happening today that I feel is helpful has to do with energetic uplift. It has to do, and I like to describe this, when we are when we're able to identify and recognize what we're trying to do in a better way, it helps us see things with more clarity. And this is why I was articulating upon the fact that this is like why we don't work to project, right? Because when we're trying to project, and this is why we have to be proportional on that. And the problem, remember when I was saying the problem with this particular retrograde is that it's so polarizing, but this is the reason it's so polarizing. Okay. It has to do with understanding that often there are two different modalities by which we can sometimes be doing something in the wrong fashion. One, we project too much, right? We project. You. We blame everybody. The other is when we over internalize, right? And we don't talk about that enough either, right? You is as bad as me, right? It's the observation. It's the observation that there's a nice little space in the middle. Nice little space in the middle. When we have balance, because we're going to talk a lot about this with Libra energy, right? It's not that everything is outside of the self. It's not that everything's within, right? But when we're constantly projecting on everybody else, right? When we're constantly projecting on everyone else, we're mean. Okay. When we're constantly over internalizing, we're inadvertently like, oh, too much in the internal self, right? When we're able to build into a sense of proportionality, we do the work to identify what is an outside problem versus an inside problem. So it's working upon building into the architecture of the healthy boundaries of the self, right? It's identifying and recognizing what that work feels like and navigating it proportionally. It's not easy. It requires constant calibration, and conversation is calibration upon that point, right? Conversation, clarification between Lovers and the Page of Swords in its reversal. There is that Knight of Cups in its reversal. So the Knight of Cups in its reversal is effectively showing us, and this is what I keep on hearing in relationality to this energy. This is what we mean. Feelings don't have anything to do with it, but feelings are everything. Why do we say feelings have nothing to do with it, but feelings are everything? Because when feelings have nothing to do with it, it's the observation that the feelings are fortified by the logic that we bring to them. It's the space by which we're able to recognize and identify what feelings are effectively valid. But feelings are everything because those emotions effectively energize or move us in directionality, right? Emotions effectively drive us forward. So when we're doing something effectively, we are not just feeling our feelings and doing the things our feelings dictate, because that is being energetically dispassionate. But we're doing the work to understand what feelings feel energetically valid that feel fortified in terms of the architecture of the self, versus the feelings that we're working to let go of because they're coming too much from our egoic self. So everything is about, like, it's like working through the proportionality of the self right now. And I'm not surprised to see this, given the fact that we're about to be moving into Libra energy. And we also have the fact that Mercury is currently in Libra. So there's a lot of that work. And I feel like that's the thing, right? Like that's the thing that we're kind of getting right now, because you also have to understand that this eclipse cycle, with the new moon occurring, in the space by which we're identifying and recognizing the placement of the sun, as it were. What we're effectively identifying is a recognition point of being able to be energetically adaptable on something, right? It's the ability to be energetically proportional that then allows for the effective, I feel like it allows for the effective arrival into something that helps us effectively understand the self better. And I keep on seeing that is the ability of taking the emotions in proportional consideration in terms of what we're trying to do effectively. So I keep on seeing there's a lot of that productive conversation there. Continuing to get clarification between our Page of Swords in its reversal and our Ace of Pentacles in its reversal. We've got here the High Priestess in its reversal. And so what are we effectively seeing with the High Priestess in its reversal? And I'm not necessarily, it's not seeing the High Priestess in its reversal isn't necessarily a bad thing again, because the thing with the High Priestess, and we often, and like the thing about this, and I often draw a connection point to High Priestess and Virgo placements. It has to do in the recognition that when we're overly, and this is what I meant, some of the challenge or some of the work that we had to go through during this eclipse retrograde cycle has to do with the fact that the energy has a tendency of allowing us to feel like we want to overly internalize upon things, right? It's a space by which, like, it was the combination of going through a Mercury in Virgo during a Virgo season that can often overly internalize. And what happens when we energetically overly internalize? We become reactive, right? When we overly internalize, we become reactive. And that is the space by which we often identify what, and this is why I was telling you guys right now, like during this eclipse cycle, not to either assume things, and also to make sure that one was also not being energetically reactive to things. Because when we're able to take a proportionality of consideration about circumstances, there's often always more to learn. There's often things that are going on that are deeper than what we can effectively understand, recognize, or realize. So that's what I keep on seeing is happening right now as it relates to a lot of this energy. Because for a lot of the energy right now, and that's what I mean, these three cards here, the Ten of Swords in its upright in combination with the Knight of Cups in its reversal and in combination with the High Priestess, can often talk about the weight of others' expectations upon us. And I keep on seeing that when we are working towards being proportional, then we identify and recognize, the what we give to each other that feels like an energetic gift, right? Like the space by which we are doing everything that we can upon things. And so for a lot of that energy, especially the energy in separation right now, this is why this healing process feels so inflicted. This is why the healing process can feel so frustrating, because it's not the space by which one doesn't have feelings, but it's often having to heal or recover from spaces wherein you couldn't express your feelings without their feeling like without feeling like there's energetic consequences. And this is what we talk about, like the space of healthy partnership is the space by which one can articulate upon feelings, and they're not being not being energetic consequences to talking about feelings. And it has a lot to do with how well we've worked on healing the energetic egoic space. And it doesn't mean, I keep on saying, it doesn't mean that we are perfect in that way, right? It doesn't mean that there aren't those moments that I keep wondering, there aren't those moments that we accidentally hurt one another. But even in the expressing of that hurt is how we effectively restore and heal it, right? So it's the space by which we understand that the breath, the healthy breath of partnership, is one where we articulate upon progress, right? We articulate upon a need, and the need is met with progress. But not only is the need met with progress in relationality to what we're trying to energetically express, but at the same time, we effectively identify and recognize that that same progress is something that's occurring within the internal self. It's something that we're effectively working on. And so I feel like that's what's interesting about this particular eclipse sun cycle, is that it's basically, it's talking, it's like the addressing of the self in order to recognize what one is trying to do or what one is trying to bring balance into. So everything I keep on seeing there, there's, it's just like it's, I feel like there's also a lot of emotional release that's happening, because I keep on seeing, it's like the emotional release is effectively articulating upon, like, the experience of being the self, or how hard it is to exist within that state. Now, continuing to get clarification between our Ten of Swords in its reversal and our Knight of Cups, we have here the Queen of Swords in its upright as well. So, what are we effectively identifying with the Queen of Swords? The Queen of Swords is effectively speaking to us about the Queen of Swords is effectively speaking to us about working through the healthy standards of the self. It's identifying and recognizing what we're trying to do in a greater way. And so, for a lot of the energy right now that's moving deeper into partnership, I keep on seeing that this is why the energy was effectively like, this is almost the energy trying to say to one another why they felt like they were holding back. There was a space by which I can almost see the energy that was like, up until the time of moving deeper into partnership, they were always holding on to some calibration of anxiety. They were always holding on to something and being somewhat uncertain in relationality to how one was going forward in some way. But that's why I keep on seeing that there's something there's something a bit beautiful that we're observing in relationality to that work going forward, because everything I keep on seeing in relationality there has to do with the space of being able to say to one another that they did not experience energy like that before. Like, this is serious. These are literally the relationships or circumstances where they're identifying how much they mean to one another. And a lot of that meaning, and this is why it's different for masculine and feminine energy, like, it's almost like the energy that is letting each other know how they've been let down before. Continuing to get clarification between our Knight of Cups in its reversal and the High Priestess in its reversal, we've got here the Hierophant in its upright. Now, what do we see that's so important and vital in relationality to the Hierophant? The Hierophant in its upright effectively speaks to us about, I want to say it speaks to us about how we're trying, like what we're trying to do, or what we're trying to, or the space by which we articulate upon commitments. And the thing about we're seeing right now, particularly with the Queen of Swords and the Hierophant, it basically says, and it talks to us about the value of our like the value of our energetic commitments. And what's beautiful about that we're effectively seeing is the space by which we articulate and identify. And this is what I meant about the what's going on right now with those magician partnerships feeling so frustrating, or feeling so potentially infuriating, because I keep on seeing that there's something that's happening that has never happened for them before, which is, I keep on seeing, it's almost the fact that they've articulated that they've been in relationships before, but never ones that had so much meaning associated or attached to them. So everything we keep on seeing that's happening there, it's basically the energy that is almost articulating to one another the frustration. And I keep on hearing a commitment, like a healthy commitment shouldn't feel like it creates volatility outside of partnership. and their own ability to see and anticipate and recognize that, I keep on seeing it's like it's a little bit of hands on the hips energy. It's like, what are you going to do? It's like that's why they're giving it to Saturn, because they almost observe and they recognize the time that they may themselves would have felt like that. Final card between our Queen of Swords and our Hierophant right now. Ooh, we got two cards coming through. We've got the Nine of Pentacles in combination with our Six of Cups in its reversal. So what we're effectively seeing, especially with this Six of Cups in its reversal, it speaks, I keep on saying, it speaks a lot about, it speaks a lot about the stabilizing, like the stabilizing nature of the self. Now, one of the things I want to articulate that we've been experiencing a lot over this retrograde period and the eclipse process that was happening in concordance to it has to do with the feeling of frustration, and potentially the feeling of frustration in relationality to others' expectations. That ability to identify and recognize and work through things. I keep on seeing that there's a lot of that work that is identified and recognized there, and it speaks to us about how we're working to heal, or what we're hoping to like articulate upon, or what we're hoping to do in a better fashion. And so everything I keep on seeing that's happening as a result of this, for a lot of those energies that are moving through the frequencies right now, a lot of the letting go process that we're effectively like working through or identifying is the space or the shape by which we amplify and articulate to one another, um, like what something means to us, or what the shape of that work is. And so for one of the things I keep on seeing is having to do with the space of effectively energetically desiring to smooth something out. It's the space by we recognize and identify what we're trying to do, but also doing so in a way that feels like it's energetically supportive to the self. I keep on seeing that the problem with a lot of this energy right now is there's moments that you sometimes feel that discordance with another person. And I keep on hearing, even in the space that we feel discordance with another person, it can bear a conversation. It can bear an energetic like space by which we can speak upon it. And so everything I keep on seeing in relationality to that, it's like the frustration that we feel that feels like it energetically triggers us, but then we're able to move through it and find that capacity of being able to communicate in a better way. So all of that work that we're effectively seeing here, I keep on seeing it's like the energy that it's like the energy that speaks towards it, and it communicates the frustration, but then immediately is able to heal it by way of being able to articulate why something feels the way it does, or why it meant the way that, like what meaning it had to it. And so this is something that we're seeing that's effectively happening across all of the frequencies, but even in the space by which they're articulating upon what's happening across the frequencies, the hard part that I keep on seeing is it's all about navigating the difficulty of those relationships. It's speaking towards something. It's working in, it's like the articulation of working through something in such a way that you're able to find that higher purpose. Bottom of the deck on today's reading, especially with our Two of Pentacles, there's something that we see in relationality to the Two of Pentacles that speaks to us upon working on the comprehension of self. And it's a lot of this work that we see even now has to do with energetic expansion. And that the difficulty that we often amplify with expansion processes is it often feels that there's a lot of energetic weight upon us. There's a lot of things happening all at once. But this is why, even in the space by which a lot of things are happening all at once, it doesn't require us or cause us to have to feel like we need to energetically project out onto something, right? It's just basically the force by which we find, it's like we become, I like to say, when we're able to expand and we're able to comprehend, we become the energetic load bearing device, which is the space by which we understand and we feel the weight of importance upon something, and we're able to carry it through, right? It's just not the space by which it's the space by which we value and recognize this. And we're going to talk a lot about this as we enter Libra cycles, because that comprehension of being able to articulate upon what it is we're trying to do, right? And being able to put our force of intention upon something. I keep on seeing it's all about proportionality. And this is why we often talk about, and we're going to talk about this as we enter Libra season, proportionality. Balance is found through proportionality. It's why the space is, it's why we don't go towards something and give the same thing to everything. Because when we give the same thing to everything, sometimes we give something to something and it's too much. Sometimes we give something to something and it's too little. But when we're working into understanding the quality and nature of something and we're working in proportion to it, we understand what it takes to get there. And we also don't try to give too much. It's like it's a little, it's like that, it's a little bit, it's about working through the nuance and understanding what is required. So everything we keep on seeing that's happening in a lot of these spaces right now, it's working through Libra energy, because we're going to be moving from Virgo into Libra. But it's what's interesting too, and this is why it's wild that we're having this particular cycle on the precursor of Libra, because this effective, like, even though we've been going through it, even though we've been going through what should feel like a Virgo cycle, it's actually been very much more like a Libra cycle, because it's not so much about trying to be perfect so much as it is about trying to create balance. That is where we find all of the energy prior to beginning today's daily collective read. Thank you. And if this message connected to you as well, thank you for receiving it. If you would like to book a private reading with me, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading. You also have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox. Also, please remember that if you book a private reading, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading, have to pay for the reading. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my, I also want to let you guys know that if you would like to book a private reading, on top of booking a private reading, I would also encourage you to join us over on our tarot class program. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, October 15th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the moon card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid subscriber, have access to, as a paid monthly subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library Class Archive. It's not necessary to catch up. I'll give you an update on everything we've experienced prior to having that class, but those classes are available to you as you'd like to receive them. And if you become a founding member, not only will you receive a discount on the whole year's worth of classes, but you will also receive a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage going towards your personal tarot goals going forward. I also want to let you guys know that on top of those founding classes, you can also, on top of those as well, you'll also have full access to the Tarot Church Library Class Program, which is access to over 15 hours worth of material in an ever-expanding library. And and also one of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a founding member to my stack or a paid subscriber, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also have updates as to my mystic meditation articles. I just wrote one recently on navigating this new moon energy. It was just released yesterday. You can find it over on the stack. I also want to let you guys know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students that are seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits. Also, for my students seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I am also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings, which you can purchase per dream or as a series. If you purchase the dream series, I would encourage you to purchase. I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will be meeting weekly or bi-weekly with that journal to utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you so much for being here today and sharing in these messages. And we will do this again tomorrow. That is our daily collective read for today. We are going to get started on personal readings. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as I was reading. Congratulations to Little Vamp. You got our highest gifter today, and that will be available to you as a reading for tomorrow. You'll be the first person on the list. Ashley, you came in second, so you will have an additional card in your one card readings. I'm going to take a moment to read over the comments here. The list is closed, but if you'd like to get on the list for tomorrow, you will be the second person read for. I'm also going to see if there's anyone available who would be willing to get on the list for tomorrow, who is on the list for today. We are a little tight on time, so I want to make sure that we're accommodating effectively. Excellent. Mike V, thank you for the follow. Good to see you today, Heather. Excellent. I'm late. No, you're on time. You're on time, Bridget. Perfect timing. All right. Is that for tomorrow? Sorry, I thought, nope, I've got you on the list for today, Bridget. Excellent. Thank you as well, Michelle, for sharing the live. Always appreciate when you guys share the live. I've been feeling a lot of pressure waves interacting. I know. Well, that's because I told you it's discordant energy with all of this retrograde energy we're experiencing with the eclipse. Lots of emotional up and down. I'm okay. Wait, no, I'm not. Exactly, Little Vamp. Well stated. Thank you, Goose. And Rosa, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. Happy solar eclipse, new moon, Alexandra. Lone week out of a 9. Oh, sending you so much support on that, E. Yeah, make sure that you're grounding and remembering who you are. Write down like a mantra and writing down your purpose will help right now. Good. Grand Rising, Carly. And Destiny, thank you for the follow. We just finished the collective, dear. I love the Temperance card. I still do too. I do too. I'm here to say the way you're wearing the headband. Oh, thank you, Bex. I appreciate that. Have a beautiful day. Thank you as well. What is the suggestion to not reflect on outside connections or ruminate on other relationships? Bex, again, it's gonna understand the nature. It's like a case by case basis. That's something we could definitely get into in a deeper reading, like in a personal. Hi from Australia. Thank you. I'm so glad that this is on point, Bex. I didn't end up getting it. I enjoyed going to climb my favorite tree. Oh, V. Do we engage? It's again, it's not a blanket. It's exactly what we're saying, Bex. It's not about a blanket determination point. That's where we would get into a personal reading to identify what's going on with that energetic connection. Oh, who's Jenny Slater? I don't know who Jenny Slater is. I'm so glad you're enjoying this, Greta. Oh, thank you so much, Hannah. I keep misclicking the live today. It's okay, dear. And Julia, your subscription's ending soon if you'd like to renew. Trying to understand my intuition versus my own mind. Having a hard time knowing I'm following mine. Well, and that's how a personal reading can help as well. Don't overly internalize. Please don't, Bex. I don't know how I got into this live, but it was meant to be here. I'm so glad to hear that. Oh, welcome, Bree. This is the first time in my life that I actually would rather pass on healing. I know, Wild Onion. It's a rough one right now. And Carol, thank you for sharing the live. It's funny. I feel like I've let go of the past, and then I know it pulls you back. That's this type of energy right now. I don't want it back. I'm feeling it again. Yep. Sending you support. I've been having hard conversations with counterpart and myself. Sending you support, V. Nothing is proportional at the moment. I have 12 pecs effort. Oh, well, and that's the thing, right? Identify what proportion is with this energy right now. This was the daily collective read. Yes. I'm having a dessert for breakfast because the first day. Oh, I love that, V. Oh, thank you, Trishina. All right, friends, we're gonna get into those the personal readings. As I mentioned, the list is closed today. First person we're reading for today is Bridget. Bridget, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question. Please remember we do free one-card readings for super fans. If you are a super fan, you are eligible for one-card reading. So if you'd like to become a super fan, you can go ahead and subscribe and you'll become eligible for those as well. First person we're reading for today is Bridget. Bridget, are we doing a personal or, oh, we're doing a dream. Okay, perfect. I'm also going to ask again if there's anyone who is on the reading list right now who could be moved to tomorrow. Please let me know. I'll be happy to move you. You'll also have an additional card in your reading. Wild. Yesterday I had a reading and she said I might be having bad dreams and sleepless nights because I'm going through a transformation and struggling to do something alone. But that's about to change. I haven't been remembering my dreams until this one, and she was right. The dream was awful. Okay. Bridget, are you comfortable having that held? Because if so, I would appreciate it. Yeah, I would love to be able to hold the reading because I am on a tight timeline right now. Yes, Celestial, we're not doing one cards yet. We're going to be doing, I need to do the personal readings before we can get to the one card. So once we do the personals, I'll be able to do the one cards. Oh, I appreciate that. Excellent. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to be holding Bridget and Per's readings, which brings us to Stella. Stella, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. Excellent. I appreciate you, Bridget. And guys, make sure to stay tuned because this seems like a very intense dream we're going to be reading. Yes, Bridget will be back after this. Oh, thank you for letting me know you sent me an email. And as we wait, friends, oh, you got two cards coming out here, Stella. Let me grab these for you. Let's warm up those muscles with an intuition check. I've got the animal spirit guide card here. We're going to count back from 10. And when we get to 1, I will reveal the card. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We got the cat energy. Thank you guys so much for participating. We will do that after the next reading. All right, let me just pull up Stella's question. All right. All right, I've got it here. Okay, so I'm going to keep this private because there are some sensitive issues in this reading. And so for the purposes of this, I would like to keep the reading private. So let me just read over the comments before we get into the reading. Okay, I've got you here. Just bear with me one moment. Can I please get one more card, please? So the one thing I'm seeing here that is important to notate has to do with the fact that I keep on seeing, I feel like the difficulty that's happening between, and I want you to kind of recognize that this is kind of how something is occurring, which is the space by which you are communicating with someone is the space by which you are communicating with someone has to do with the fact, like the space by which they embody or recognize the space by which in some way, shape, or form or fashion, you are effectively um, maintaining an energetic relationship with them. The thing about it is we talk about relationship like it's a positive thing, but a relationship is an energetic relationship. And I keep on seeing like the question that needs to be had in relationality to the choice that you made was was the choice that you made to energetically confront that person in the best interest of the person that you were trying to energetically protect, or was it allowing the space by which you were observing or articulating the fact that you were energetically still putting a lot of focus of and attention in relationality to watching them. And I feel like that is how their perception of it is. I keep on seeing, and I feel like that's, and I also, I've got like kind of, I've got two messages coming through, which is making sure, like we said, like making sure during eclipse and retrograde cycles, we don't do something that is emotionally indulgent of the self, which is something that feels like it feels good in the moment of doing it. But then we later recognize was something that was us more following the feeling. The way you need to kind of center, like the way you have to center in terms of something that you're articulating to me in this reading, is what is in the best interest of the person that you are articulating that you are trying to protect. Are you taking these actions right now because you have a lot of care and concern for that person? Because if you are trying to put care and concern into that person, does reaching out to this person make that better? Does that protect them more, or does it make it worse for them? Because everything I keep on seeing here, because I keep on seeing the importance of how you're reaching out is the articulation as to both how it is being perceived, but also something very important in relationality to your own path work as well. Because I keep on seeing that the space by which you are reaching out to someone, that you're articulating, that you're saying to me that you're healing from, like me being able to kind of work with your own energy and trying to read for you in the space of telling you what would be best for you energetically. I will tell you right now, if you're trying to energetically heal from someone, the solution is not to the most important solution is not to engage with them, particularly because we spoke about the fact that in a lot of our previous readings about the fact that every time you draw your attention back towards this person, it's not allowing you to effectively move on with what you desire to have with this person. So I want you to be very energetically mindful in relationality to that, because I see what's actually coming through in this reading is there's two different messages. One, as it relates to how they're perceiving it, I see that they feel less like you're concerned about the safety of others so much as you're concerned with letting them know that you're still energetically watching them, right? Like the space by which you're articulating that your eyes are never off of them. So that's why I keep on seeing that this is the energy, like this is how they're perceiving it. They're perceiving it in a space by which they feel that energetic wariness because they feel like you're never taking your eyes off of them. But the other thing I keep on seeing is potentially, and I feel like this might be something you might have to energetically prepare for, the space by which another person asks you if that action felt like it was actually in the best interest of the energy that you are articulating that you are trying to protect someone from, or if anything if anything it's like pull I keep on hearing like making sure that you had that conversation with their consent, because the difference between I keep on hearing the difference between advocating for someone and pulling someone into something is the difference as to whether you had their consent to speak upon them. Our words are blessed. And when we bring other people into our conversations, it's often the space by which we articulate and amplify that they would feel either whether it feels like something that is energetically supportive to them, something that they would feel very glad that we were doing, versus potentially articulating something, especially I keep on saying, is this something that they asked you to do? Is this something that you told them that you were going to do for them? Or was it you taking the liberty to take another person's wound and facilitate intervening? Because that's what we keep on seeing. The space by which we do something that is supportive to another is always met with their consent. We don't do it for them without getting their consent upon it, because that's often something that feels indulgent to the self. And so I feel like that is what I keep on seeing. Like I've got something coming through from your guides saying, making sure that you have that person's consent to tell their story to another person. Make sure that you have their energetic consent to intervene on their behalf. Because if not, it might speak towards the fact that it's not necessarily doing something that is in the best interest of them so much as it is allowing you to kind of prolong or return back to like being energetically invested with someone who has previously harmed you. Bottom of the deck on this reading, especially with the Nine of Swords and it's upright, everything is about consent, right? The ability by which we articulate and navigate each other's comfortability. And this is often why, like, listen, even when we feel that another person was violated, like in some way, shape, or form, right? It's not our purpose to intervene in terms of what their healing journey is. Everybody's healing journey is different. So the ability by which there's a way that you might handle something and you addressing it in the space by which you are handling it, making sure that you're not projecting yourself onto them. Because if you're doing something for them that they wouldn't be comfortable with, then that is the difference between advocating for them, speaking for them, versus intervening on their behalf in a way that they're not comfortable with, potentially causing more energetic harm in the process. I hope that helps, dear, and thank you so much for having this reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings. The list is closed today, but if you'd like to get on the list for tomorrow, you will be the next person. You will be the second person read for. The next person on our list for today is Crystal. Crystal, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. And I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as it was reading. All right. You're so welcome, dear. Thank you as well, V. And thank you so much, Fry, for the follow. Maybe they didn't. Yep, you see, and that's what I think you have to take into consideration, Stella. Absolutely. Sending you so much support on that journey, right? I keep on hearing it's the observation of what one's intention was. But again, I feel like this is also how you heal, like making sure others are informed in relationality to the things that you're doing usually helps us fortify if it's something that feels like it's supportive versus something that feels like it's deepening a wound. All right, the next person we're reading for today is Crystal. Crystal, if you're here, can you respond in all caps? Let me know if you'd like a general reading or if you have a specific question you'd like me to answer. Hi, dear. Okay, Jeffrey, can I please get 4 cards for Jeffrey? 4 cards related to that energetic connection. Oh, 3, yeah. Thank you. One moment, please. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you? I'm sorry, Crystal. It looks like you're not a subscriber, so you'll have 3 cards. One more, please. Excellent. All right. Oh, you got a lot of, I feel like I see somebody like going through some like serious distress here. Like I see, like there's a lot of, this is, this is awful. But I'm also identifying, like, that's the thing about it. Like, it almost feels to me like somebody was going through some like control issues, you know? Like, I got to describe this. Like, when I see energy like this, um, I keep on hearing the desire for something being perfect. And again, it has to do with the observation that when we want things to be nice, it can often amplify how much energetic control we want to have over things, is what I keep on seeing. And I feel like there's like I almost see somebody with Like, I feel like I see somebody with some deep control issues. Like, I'm just reading into something here that's just, like there's like a hyper desire for control. And often I need to point this out when someone is in a space by which when they feel like they need a lot of control, it can speak towards a lot of insecurity. It can speak towards the fact that they feel very insecure in the self, because when we're in a space of security with self, then we can navigate the circumstances around the self and just kind of allow ourselves to experience things. But when we've got a lot of controlling tendencies, it's like everything we look around us isn't energetically perfect. It's like it's the space by which like like we become overly demanding. So I would definitely make sure, if you're having conversations with someone in that modality or in that experience, that you're talking to them, like, especially, I keep on hearing, especially in terms of them like making comments about your appearance, or making comments about the way that you it's like it's giving me the understanding, like I almost hear something saying we don't exist to be appealing to one another. We exist because our experience of existing is an energetic joy. And so um, I feel like it's almost like requiring you to have a conversation with someone in relationality to what their manifestation goals are, and make sure everything is having the manifestation goals, because it almost feels to me like the space by which another person articulates how they feel about something, that feels like I keep on seeing like working through another person's distaste. But I keep on seeing, like, make sure that they're not being too energetically provocative in terms of what they're giving advice upon that you might not necessarily have asked for. Because everything I keep on seeing here, like, I need to point this out. It's only like, I keep on hearing it's only a critique if we've asked that we desire it. And I feel like, and I keep on hearing our honesty is not our honesty. It's not something that we give one another for the sake of saying, like, I just thought you would should know, because it's understanding. I keep on seeing honesty in the space of honesty is, I keep wondering the difference between honesty and opinion. Like, I keep wondering, honest opinion is the understanding that what we see is something that only we ourselves feel. And I keep on hearing, like, the difference between that is the space by which we mitigate our opinion as to whether it's something that we would want to receive from another. So I keep on hearing, like if someone's being weird with you, like, be ask them what their energetic intention is. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, again, especially as it relates to making plans, you know? Like, I keep on hearing, like, make sure someone isn't going hot and cold in relationality to the plans that they're desiring to have with you. There's something very important there that I'm energetically seeing. Like, and especially if they keep changing those plans on you last minute. I want to tell you right now, with energy like that, they have plans with you ahead of time, or they don't have plans at all. They have plans with you ahead of time, or they don't have plans at all. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Chrissy. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. The list is closed. I'm going to take a moment to read over some of the comments that came through as reading. No, there wasn't. Why, did you hear that, B? Okay, excellent. And thank you for those gifts, Fry. Not good for me to do this. Thank you. Yeah, okay, maybe we didn't want to mention me in that way. Yes, thank you, dear. I started by hearing, oh yeah, different one. Yep, excellent. I didn't know that's what your name was short for. Okay, my friends. So we've reached the conclusion of the daily collective reads for today. I will be back on later this evening to be doing the one card readings for the super fans. So I'll be notifying you guys when I'm back on tonight to do those one card readings. If you would like to get on the list for tomorrow, you will be the first person. You will be the second person read for. It is 3 cards for a donation of 29 or more, 4 cards for a donation of 23 or more for my subscribers. In my bio. Please keep in mind there are 2 things I don't read for across these apps: pregnancy and medical. I've actually, you know what? I think we can do the one card readings now. I think we've got it. Can you guys? Let's do the one card readings now, and then we will sign off. All right. If you are a subscriber and would like a one card, go ahead and put your one card reading in the comments, and I'll be happy to pull a card for you. I got you, Bridget. One card on R, please. Yeah, I mean, this is confirmation. Like, I mean, I'd be like, I see some kind of energy here. I mean, I see somebody checking on you. It's giving a little bit of check energy. I feel like I feel like it's somebody who like locked themselves out of your life accidentally. It's giving me a little bit of that. Hold on a minute. Animal spirit guide and guys, please remember, if you would like an animal spirit guide card, make sure that you're recharging your heart mate. Yeah, blackbird. But I feel like it's almost like they know that they don't want the same things as you. They're just energetically checking up on you, you know? I got you, Ruby. One card in connection with Sam. They need to figure out what they want. I felt like a little bit of this back and forth energy here. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, Knight of Cups. Like it's giving me I don't know, like it's hard for like, do they have like it's like I feel like I keep on hearing they're at the behest of their schedule. Yeah, frog energy. It's hard to connect with someone. They're kind of all over the place. I got you, Alexandra. One card, highest priority, please. Ooh. Continue to be patient right now. I feel like I see something. Your patience and perseverance on something is going to pay off in a big way. Bottom of the deck. Don't listen. Like you don't. It's like keep on hearing. You don't have to be patient with everything. It's understanding and recognizing what feels energetically supportive. It's identifying, like I keep on seeing, what feels like there's something that you could be doing in a better fashion, or like working through something in a different way. Like don't be too hard on yourself right now. Yeah, especially with the fox energy. Appreciate how hard you're working in terms of trying to get something done. Like I feel like there's something really significant about that. Hi there, Grace. How are you doing today? You were all ready for that one card. Hold on a minute. Absolutely. I got you, Hannah. One card on D's intention in a friend request. I'm trying to determine if I should put energy into it or ignore. No, I feel like this feels intentional. I feel like there's somebody who doesn't want to force something, but they're putting something on the table. Yeah, justice card. I feel like it's actually feeling like, how do I get like, yeah, especially with the wolf energy. I feel like, did you guys connect before and it wasn't a good time? Is what I keep on seeing. Like I don't know why I keep on hearing someone say like I missed the message or something like slid off their radar. Yeah, rude. You're welcome, Bridget. You're so welcome. Celestial, one card on Jackie related to reconciliation. Chariot card in its reversal. I mean, you have to be willing to have that conversation with her, is what I keep on seeing. What was that conversation you were having? Yeah. You have to start with manifestation goals. You guys want the same things? It's not about reconciling, it's about manifestations. Make sure that you're being clear in terms of the manifestation goal you have with her. Yeah, especially fire dragon. Are they like were some anger issues at play? Were they projecting? I like to point out when energy is projecting, they'll usually let us know by taking accountability for the fact that they were, right? So make sure that they're taking accountability for something that you experienced that might have been volatile. One card for Chrissy regarding the connection. All right. I see somebody that's working on their healing I see somebody who's like, every time I read for this energy, I keep on seeing stops and starts on a healing process. Especially with Queen of Cups, it feels like somebody being very sentimental about you or observing something that they put you through. You know, like I almost hear somebody saying they didn't deserve that. One card for Grace, please. Um, this is interesting. This is, I mean, like, this is like what a difference supportive energy makes. You know, I just see some circumstance or situation that's just kind of empowering you to do something in a different fashion. Bottom of the deck, yeah, especially with the the eight of pentacles, you know. I feel like this is about you building new processes, new routines for yourself. It's good. I mean, like, yeah, especially with that sun card. Um, I feel like it's helping you maintain more of a positive perspective on things. And I keep on hearing positive is not bending over backwards for others. What gift is it for a card? Lauren, these are one card readings for super fans. So if you'd like to become a super fan, I'm happy to pull a card for you. Excellent. And Elegante, thank you for the follow. Alexandra, thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling like I got a ways to go to get myself together. Don't, you're making everything about those cards is saying don't get upset at yourself. Just be like one thing at a time. Yes. Oh, he stole money from you. Wow, Hannah, thank you for confirmation. I may do a full reading on it. Well, and again, and if you want to do it privately, we can also do it there too. Again, anyone asking for one cards, these are for super fans, so you have to become a super fan if you'd like to have a one card. Thank you, Lauren. Okay. Yep, absolutely. I think we do. Well, clearly, I mean, though the blocking, what was that community like? What was the last conversation? I don't know. I feel like I feel like I think I keep on seeing someone that feels like like it's giving like that's what I meant about some kind of anger issues and relationality to like over concentrating on something. Thank you for confirmation, Celestial. How are you doing, Vicky? Thank you as well, Grace. I think it's parallel to what some have or an image upon. And thank you for helping them, Bridget. Vicky, these are super fan readings. So if you'd like to become a super fan, I'm happy to pull a card for you. One card on R for Ava, please. I've got you. Um, this is, I feel like they're making changes in their life. You know, I feel like yeah, like temperance. I feel like they're beating themselves up about something, but they're trying to make peace with it, but they're having a hard time doing so. I know you both do. All right, friends, final call for any of my super fans who have a one card who they would like to that you would like to receive. I am going to try to come back on later for super fans as well. So if you'd like to become a super fan and have a card pulled, then go ahead and become a subscriber, and you'll be eligible for super fandom. I hate saying that word. I want to go back to subscriber. I want to thank you guys so much for being here. For anyone who is still on the hold list, thank you. I appreciate your patience. I will be back on at 7 a.m. Eastern tomorrow, 7 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you would like to be notified as to when I've gone live, you can head over to my profile and turn on notifications for that event. Also, for anyone who has become a subscriber at today, welcome. I'd encourage you to head over to our subscriber-only Discord Disco channel to introduce yourself to the collective. You'll also find in the perks section a special coupon code that will give you an additional discount to our tarot class subscription program. Our next class will be held on Wednesday, October 15th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Pacific Eastern. I want to thank you guys for being here today and sharing in these messages. Huge thank you to my followers, old and new. Thank you for being here today. Huge thank you to my subscribers. Your ongoing support means the absolute world to me. And the biggest thank you to my mods. I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful day. If you missed the Daily Collective, I'll have it over on my as a podcast later today as well. You'll be able to find it there. Please take care of yourselves. Please take care of one another. And we'll do this again tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone.